I grew up in New Orleans, was born and raised here, and when we started selling into different enterprises, I really wanted to talk to the NFL, and I really wanted to start with the Saints. Obviously, grew up going to the games, and when I reached out to the Saints to talk about actually just using the platform for hiring, I got put in touch with their investment team, and that's kind of how the genesis of the larger partnership of their investment and their participation in working with us came to be. It just shows that business is moving in the direction of not just being inclusive to do something that's altruistic and nice, but that people are actually seeing that this is the future of work, and there is money to be made in serving this demographic. I started the company a few years ago after my cousin became the first licensed facialist in the state of Florida with Down syndrome. So she gives facials at a local salon, and after getting my first facial from her, I kind of knew this would be a company I wanted to start. It was just incredibly easy to see how her employer could make some slight adjustments for her, and obviously the incredible impact it had on her career. And so I wanted to figure out how can we use technology to make this happen at scale for really large employers across the disability spectrum.
And across different industries. So we started a lot with the tech sector, with Salesforce and Microsoft and financial services, so Charles Schwab and JP Morgan, and this definitely gets us into different industries and different types of jobs for all the candidates that we serve.
The Saints and Pelicans have already hired someone through our platform, and I spoke to the candidate the other day. I wanted to hear how our experience was. They're the first company that we have that's going after the New Orleans market, so we now have a ton of talent here that we've attracted to them for their roles, and she was obviously incredibly excited, and also just said the experience of disclosing her disability and talking about it with her employer was just completely night and day from what she's experienced in the past.
I think there's so much learning that needs to take place. Ableism is rampant across all organizations, and it really takes a lot of training, but not so much. We always say just start. You learn by doing, and as soon as you start hiring, you'll know that every job seeker is just as capable of doing the job as everyone else, even if they need slight accommodations.
Yeah, and there's 30% of the workforce already meets the federal definition of having a disability, but only 3% actually disclose it to their employer. So what we've heard a lot is once a company announces that they're working with us, they get a lot more increase in self-ID from just their existing employees, which means they can actually provide the things that those employees need as well to be the most productive and successful version of themselves. It's definitely reality, and I know a number of other companies that they're investing in the area, and there's a lot of talent around the Gulf Coast, and I think because of COVID, a lot of people have realized that you don't just have to invest in San Francisco and New York-based companies, and I think a name like Ms. Vinson going out there and saying, I'm going to support this, just is going to bring a ton of attention to the area, and hopefully it's just the beginning.